Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic, the practical way, because I talk about a lot of ways that we can manifest magic and also utilize this practical world that we live in, right? So today I'm discussing something I came across over the past few days. Emotional worlds, right? I was listening to a speaker and he was discussing how we have all of these emotional triggers on the inside of us that create a story about what we're experiencing, and then we react according to however we learn to react to a situation like that as a child or as a kid or in the past, right? And I thought about how many times in my life that I've come across moments or people and interactions that triggered me in a very emotional way, and that I had these responses for, but it had nothing to do with the actual situation that I was in. It had way more to do with something that was old from the past that I was holding on to, like some type of negative reactive energy, right? So like I'm the kind of person that feels really threatened, and I don't mean to feel threatened if somebody's trying to expose my children to something that I'm not interested in, or do something with them, or take them somewhere that I didn't approve of. Like I've realized that, there's a hold you have to release when it comes to having children. You don't own them, but it's very hard to latch on to that idea on a regular basis when all of your interactions and actions and the life that you're living lends back to, I have ownership over these little people. So I get triggered there. But what I realize is that sometimes I'm triggered in that space, or I'm bothered in that emotional space, mostly based on some experience that I had early on with having the children. Like some experience that I had going through divorce when they were like 1 and 3 years old. Something that has nothing to do with what's happening today. So it's like I find myself, and I know you may too have different times, creating like an emotional straw man, like this big giant bully or adversary to fight against in my head or emotionally that doesn't even exist in my real life presence. Like some situations have a potential to turn out that way. They can potentially evolve into this negative space, but that is not what's happening. And what have definitely helped them evolve further into a negative space is for me to react negatively to them. Oh my God, that's so hard to remember, because let me tell you, when you're creating a world in the inside of your head for your manifestations and your abundance, and creating clarity and giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, giving yourself something bigger to shoot towards, and creating an idea of yourself that you have to keep up with, goal setting and all that, it's so easy to create imaginary negative things too. So even if you're just in a mindset of, I'm going to create positive things, positive energy, but that creative mindset also will impact the way that you see the negative things that are happening too, right? Or things that you perceive to be negative, or that could be dangling right on the edge of negativity. So I challenge you today, think about in your life or in your interactions where you might have run into or come in contact with a situation to where you completely made an emotional, mental adversary that did not exist. And it's taking up your time and energy to even address it, right? We really have to focus on those things, because when we talk about manifesting and creating a life we choose, those are the kind of blocks that hold us up on a regular basis. Like if you think about something that you were caught up in emotionally or reacting to negatively, and it's only in your mind and only in your imagination, how much of your time in a day did that take up while you were working on a project, or while you were trying to pay bills, or while you were trying to do something for a job, or whatever you were doing? How much energy, mental energy, did you put towards what your reaction is going to be, what people aren't going to do, what they're not going to say, how they're not going to handle you, or all these things that we have these emotional defenses up for? And how much of that is eating into the value that you want to create in your life, right? Because no matter who these people or figments of our imaginations are this emotional scapegoats that we create in our minds so that we can have something to place our negative energy and attitudes towards, it's never going to get you towards your stuff. It's never going to create the environment that makes it easy to have the things that you choose in your life. It's always going to be some type of a sludge, a holdup, some type of a barrier that you have to dredge through in order to get to the other side and create that positive life, right? So never think of any emotional straw men as something positive in your life. If you need to have that for a while you react to something very real that happened in your life, and you make this negative emotional space to tell this person off, to write this letter. I mean, I've done that in the past. I did that with mother-in-laws, ex-husband, and everything. Wrote everything ugly, rude, what I thought was an injustice and all that in a letter and stuff like that, and then simply ripped it up and burned it. And I'm sure one of those letters I actually sent, because I have. Back in the day, I was a letter writing fool, right? If I built it up in my head to be a certain idea in a certain way, I was writing that thing out, and you were going to get that letter, because I felt it was very important for me to air that stuff out. Now, in my more mature age, in my more mature manifesting, I realize that it's nobody else's business what I'm struggling with emotionally, and that it's not right to dump those things on other people, no matter how clearly I think I see what is happening or what is taking place around me. Because I have to know that if I'm feeling negative towards it or emotional towards it, that I'm not seeing it clearly, because it's not even possible. I am not clear enough to actually see things for what they are, because I'm too emotional, I'm too angry, I'm too upset, I'm too caught up in the whole situation. And we have to remember that. So if you find yourself creating these emotional straw men, these figments of your imagination that are based on very real things, very real reactions, very real systems and circumstances that you have been through, but they're not in your present space today, they're not serving you in this moment to have any attachment to, you got to let that stuff go. And the faster you let go of those emotional straw men, the quicker you can get to thinking, what do I want to create? How do I feel good? What do I want to have? What do I want it to be? I needed this discussion today, because I was walking into my day with some negative attitude about someone else teaching my daughter how to drive. I really don't even care about that. I thought I did, but after having this conversation, I don't care about that. Like 100 people taught me how to drive, and I'm probably better for it, because I took a little bit of good from over there. I had 5 older siblings. Everybody taught me how to drive, you know. My parents definitely, watching them all those years. So I was getting caught up into this thing that has nothing to do with the reality of what's happening in life. Everybody's beautiful, happy, and whole. Finances are good. Work prospects are good. Careers are going good. Health is going well. Travel, all these things are beautiful and great in the space, but yet my mind was trying to take me to somewhere else. So I already know these things can happen even if you are in most control of your day and your attitude and how you receive it. You can still get caught up into these moments where you just like, this thing is getting the best of me, but it's not even real. Right? So anyway, I'm going to head on in and try to get some video production done before people start showing up and interrupting me, because that's how it happens. And try to make some space for myself early on to avoid the interruptions. Anyway, I hope y'all are having a wonderful, wonderful day, and that you are enjoying your manifestations. You're creating the things that you love and choose and want to appreciate and want to experience in your life, and that you are able to have complete and utter emotional control over yourself at most times. I would say 99% of the time. And you're not reacting and being like flung around by everybody else's comings and goings and doings. That you can still be happy, still be great, and still live a full-fledged positive life no matter what the circumstances are showing you around. And just keep in mind that we can never see what's happening in the background. We can't see the magic that our universe, that God is creating for us in the background at any given time. We just don't have access to it. So no matter how a day looks, no matter how something appears to be, no matter how you feel about it that day, because a lot of times nothing's changed, we just feel differently about it. You got to know that if you are manifesting the life you choose and you are working on yourself and creating most positive images in your mind, creating visions, writing, journaling, scripting, and all those sort of things, that God, the universe, is in the background working it all out for you, and you don't need to see it all happen, right? You just need to get the big treat at the end of the tunnel. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, watch some of my other videos, share, like, subscribe, and keep manifesting magic.